Hi there. In this video guide we're going to do a very quick overview of how we can use the video and audio features for one-to-one or one-to-many conversations within Teams. As you can see, I'm in my Year 9 Science General team at the moment, and there's a conversation there between Ferdinand and myself. Now if I want to start a conversation with Ferdinand, the easiest way is simply to hover over their name, and you'll see I have the option to have a text conversation, send an email, start a video, or start an audio call. Simply clicking on those will start my one-to-one conversation with Ferdinand. Now if I'm in my chat mode, which aggregates all my chat conversations, you'll see here's a conversation with Ferdinand, and from here I have exactly the same options, but at the top here you'll see I have my audio and my video calls. So let's start a video call with Ferdinand. Ferdinand's going to answer, so I'm just going to click on there on his device, and I'll mute Ferdinand, and you'll see that now I have a connection. So the initials are shown there, Ferdinand Kingsley's in my call. If Ferdinand turns on his video, you'll see that I'll get Ferdinand's picture, which happens to be the side of me at the moment, and I can now have my conversation with Ferdinand. Now these two indicators here let you know if my camera's on or off, and if my audio is on and off. Now normally that would be on, but because I'm recording this, I'm choosing to turn it off so we don't get any feedback. Now in this conversation, I can now chat with Ferdinand. Obviously I can see the individual, so we can talk about different topics. And if I wanted to, using this option here, I could also share my screen. This option lets me pick which screen and what it is that I want to actually share with the child. So that's another way of broadcast. On my three options, if I was presenting to a group of students, I might want to start a recording that would allow me to keep a record of the conversation or presentation that could be shared subsequently. Equally, I might want to have a list of participants. In this case, there's only the two of us here, but I could add additional individuals to join the group. So if I was having an important conversation and I thought that Basil would find it useful, I can send an invite to Basil to see whether they would like to join the conversation as well. And again, they can choose to join. If I select the option for Basil to join, which I'm doing over here, you'll see that there's a third individual that's joined the group. So there you go, there's now Basil. You can see I've now got Basil and Ferdinand on the conversation. So the ability for me to invite somebody on the fly is really, really easy. I can see quickly who's got their microphone disabled here. So if I'm getting any background noise during my presentation, I can see it nice and simple. On Basil, let me just turn off Basil's camera as well. If I turn everybody's cameras off, you'll simply see that I've got all three students here as part of my conversation. So in addition to having my students available, you can see it's very easy for me to see. If I need to, I can start a conversation down the side. This is really handy if during the conversation I want to add a document for them to take away and read, or just type some notes that are there for a record. But simply, if we think about our session here, we've got our students that we're talking to or seeing. We can control our video and audio. If we want to share our screen, we can use this option here and pick which screen we want to share to them. The option here is if we've got a group is raise your hand. The idea of raise your hand, if I go back to my participants list and I click on the option, is it gives a visual indicator. It's really handy from an etiquette point of view to encourage students in a group setting to mute their microphone when they're not talking, and if they have a question or something to raise their hand, and then you as the teacher can simply respond to that and ask them if they'd like to join the conversation and unmute briefly. Keeps the meeting flow much clearer, and it's certainly something that young people get used to very quickly. So that's it. It's a simple way of just connecting and having that audio and visual conversation between students.